Hi, my name is Goldman. I'm the director and founder of Goldman & Associates. Our firm has a primary focus on family law issues here in Michigan. And today we're going to continue our video series designed to educate and inform the public. So please subscribe to our channel. Today I want to talk about alimony. And more specifically in the context of this discussion, what it is that goes into the formula to determine the amount of alimony. Alimony, or what we call spousal support, is the concept that one spouse in the divorce is going to pay the other a certain amount of money. An amount of money, maybe per month, could be a lump sum, but let's say it's periodic alimony every month. An amount of money to sort of make it so that they can live too, so that they can move on and have a decent, amount of money to live on. The question is, how do we figure this out? Well, there's three primary factors. I'm only going to focus on one today, though. The primary factors are we're going to look at the duration of the marriage, we're going to look at the disparity of income, and we also look at the availability of disposable assets to pay it, okay? So if you have any two, but you don't have the third, you don't really have a strong alimony case. So let's presume, for the sake of this discussion, that we have a marriage of sufficient duration, so that alimony is a discussion and there's disposable income to pay. Now we look at the disparity of income. How much money does the payor make versus how much money the recipient's going to make? When we talk about how much money they make, we've got to look at several things. It's not only a question of the amount of money they make in their 1099 or their W-2 from their primary employer, because maybe they make other money. Maybe they have investments. Maybe they have a side business. Maybe they have something else that is generating income that would otherwise come into the household. When the court looks at this, the court is basically saying, look, we're going to take the amount of money that normally comes into the household, which you would normally use to support yourselves, and we're going to include it in the alimony calculation once we're supporting ourselves individually. So a person may come and say, well, I know I'm going to have to pay alimony, but I only want my money from the company, from my salary. I only want that to be calculated. Well, you may want that. It will not happen. The court's likely to look at your income that you have as demonstrated perhaps on your tax return, or as demonstrated by other evidence that shows that you're collecting rental income, investment income from some, a loan that perhaps you made where someone's paying you back, or an investment that you've made perhaps that's paying dividends, growth in your portfolio, these kinds of things. The court's going to look at all of that, and it may be that from the company there's $100,000, but there may be another $100,000 in the other stuff. In your normal life, that total of $200 would have been available for everybody to live on. So when the court does an alimony calculation, for the most part, they're going to look at, well, what you have available to live on. And if the court determines that you have now, with your income from your work and your investment, you have, let's say, $200,000 to live on, and your ex only has $100,000 to live on, and the marriage is such that alimony is a consideration, you might well expect the court to say, you know what? We're going to make you pay $50,000 a year in alimony. That way you'll both have $150,000 to live on. You see, the court tends to try and even that out. So when the court looks at that, they're going to look at not just what you get from your primary income, but the total package. Now, what's the result of this? The result of this often is an effort by the one who's making all that money to hide it, to not include it, to try and show, oh, yes, I have this investment, but as you can see, it's operating at a loss. The clever lawyer will have the tax returns analyzed by accounting authorities who can tell what is a real loss, what is a paper loss, what is actually making money but shows a loss because of stuff like depreciation and other tax incentives, but the money's actually there. And a lot of times the lawyers looking at that will back out of the loss the paper deductions against it to show what real money is actually there. And that's why sometimes you have these forensic accountants who get involved in alimony cases. But that's generally what is involved when we look at what do we consider as income when we talk about alimony. If you have any questions about that, reach out. We'll be glad to help you out.